I am so grateful to be back on the airways. And did you hear that music?
Love Barry White.
That
Barry
was
White's my shot.
the great Barry White.
Bring back a lot of memories.
That's the maestro.
Yes, he is.
And I'm going to be.
And Love Unlimited.
Oh my God, yes, that's the love. And I started out, viewers. I started out, I don't know how many years ago. It might tell my age if I tell you, but I'm grateful for age too. But I started out with Barry White. And I was such a lover of Barry White. I knew when I would come into my own program.
Didn't he marry one of those?
He married Glodine.
Okay.
Glodine was, she was with him, singing with him.
Right.
And then eventually they got married.
They got married. Okay.
And so the thing of it is, I had such a love for Barry White and such a respect for Barry. He's kind of like you.
Oh, okay.
He was kind of like into his marriage, into his life, into his music. And some things about him just kind of turned me on.
Oh, okay.
So, and so that's why we dedicate this song to Mr. Barry White.
Okay.
And the beginning of my life, which was Love Unlimited. And it makes me excited because I told Mr. Thomas about it today, and he did the honors of bringing that song back from the heart.
Thank you very much.
So, sir, we got a lot to talk about. I didn't strive to get a whole lot of guests today because I thought with you and all the adventures and things you've done in your life, this would be enough.
Well, I think it's an honor. I'm just glad I was at the right place at the right time to meet you. And it was like a surprise thing for me because, like I said, we was in the store shopping for food.
Yes.
And one of the cashiers was asking, Mr. Menefee, you have any books out, or what's your next book out? And you was right in front of me about to cash out. And as we was holding that conversation, you turned around and said, oh, you're an author? I said, yes, I am. I gave you a card and this and that. And you said, well, I'll do a TV show. And I'm looking at you, I said, yeah, here we go again.
He thought I was a hoax
I
or
thought you was a hoax, yes, I did. And we got to talking, and we walked each other out the shop, the supermarket, and walked through the car, and you said, may I get one of your books? I said, yes, you can. Yes. And I gave you one of the books. And you told me about your church also. Is a church?
I think I was telling you about a church. About a church up on, up the street from me, Victory.
Right.
And Victory has been on the air several times with different events they've done.
And they had, like I was telling you, Victory had had my books in there. They have a little library in there, like a store or something like this. And they purchased some books and they kept it in their store. And I'm glad.
Yes. Well, listen, we got so much to talk about, and sometimes we don't know where the beginning goes, but we're just going to start.
Okay, let's start.
First of all, tell me, amongst all the things that you've accomplished in your life, what started you out to becoming an author of children's books? What was your first influence?
Okay, first and foremost, by me working in an area hospital, I worked at Temple University Hospital as a HVAC engineer. Yes. And it was this... I would call him, he's like a emergency ward supervisor for trauma patients. Yes. And at that time in the, I say the mid-80s, right, they was having kids coming in like a revolving door into the trauma center. Yes. Kids from 8 to 18 years old. And it was the first time in my life, and I come up in North Philadelphia, and you hear about people getting shot, but to see an 8-year-old in emergency ward with his chest, the first time I ever seen his chest get cracked open, and the doctors and the nurses, assisting, putting the clamps in, spreading out the ribs, and massaging that little boy's heart back to life again. And I've never seen that before in my life. And his eyes, when he passed away, his eyes were like marbles. It just stared. Yes. And then I talked to one of the chief surgeons there, and he said, Mr. Menefee, what you think? He said, you've been around, you've seen this before? I said, never seen this before. And then we became friends. Okay. And then he would tell me his heart feelings about how now when kids used to come in with a Band-Aid, a little stitch from falling off a swing or something like this, they're coming in now with multiple gunshot wounds. Yes. And then for me, I said, well, where's the parents at? Not blaming them, but summertime, 8 years old, 12 years old, why ain't nobody got a ring in a man? They know they shooting around certain parts of certain inner cities. They coming in, why my son? Why not your son? In some cases, not blaming nobody. I'm not blaming nobody, but it just felt warm. So he just told me, it says, you see a lot of things. And as time went on, I told my wife, I said, you know what? I'm gonna write a book because looking at certain things, I see when they come in the waiting room, shoes untied. Yes, yes. you know, hygiene dependent, not, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
You know, so I said, let me go back to basics. So that's when I came up with the book right here called With the Help of Love, I Can Do Anything.
Oh, yes.
You know, and it's the beginning
Yes,
of the
yes,
book.
yes.
You know, it's a multicultural book
Right.
that teaches valuable lessons
Right.
as far as how to put your shoes, how to brush your teeth with the
Yes.
help of your mom
Yes,
or someone like that. See?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then the other one, they talk about how, you know, mom, dad assisted their children
Yes.
by putting on their clothes, by looking at the tag,
Yes.
looking at the tag
Yes.
in the back so they
Yes.
can learn how to put their shirt on the right way,
Yes, yes.
how to tie your shoes
Yes.
by putting your shoes side by side the way our parents taught us how to
Yes,
do.
yes.
You know, and it's essential. You have
That's
kids
true.
that's 9 and 10 years old, just don't know how to put their shoes
That's
on.
true.
You know, they put them on, it's backwards.
Right.
So
And-
I learned the good way by
Yes.
putting them side by side and saying, okay, you know, mom ain't hollering at me, so
Yes,
I got them all
yes.
right today.
Yes.
So that's how that book started right
Right.
there. And this the book they have loved.
Yes.
If it wasn't for, what's her name? One of the state treasurers, Janice Wisnicki. She was the
Okay,
state
okay.
treasurer
Yes.
in the 90s.
Right.
And it was Donna Reed. Donna Reed was a state senator at
Right,
the time.
right.
And Governor Carper and Ruth Van Minner helped
Yes.
push this book right here to be a curriculum for the whole state
yes,
of Delaware to put in their libraries and stuff like this in the
Yes.
state of Delaware. And also, I want to tell you, you're going to laugh, I've never been in a parade before in my life. I always went to a Philadelphia
Right.
parade. And they finally made me a float. It was called Wilmington JC's. Got me, you know, built me a float.
Yes.
Angelo Menefee's on top of there waving like
Oh,
this. My kids watching me like this. Never been in a parade in my life.
Yes.
So they've helped me push this book right here.
And you know, you've got so many things that, because I want you to really, because the hour goes by
Yeah,
fast. So,
yeah.
But you know what? My husband was getting, well, he was in a dead sleep. At least I hope he was asleep last night. Because if he had heard me and you in our conversation,
we was
he'd probably
getting
said
it
that
in.
she's
We was
going back
getting
in
it
the
in.
twilight zone.
No, we was getting in. It
We
was
were
a good
talking
time.
about, now there was, you gotta hang with us now. We were talking about, now see if you can remember, Dick and Jane.
Dick and Jane,
And then we talked about Spot.
Spot,
And
Sally.
then,
Remember
and
Sally?
you couldn't remember
Sally,
what the cat's
Sally.
name. I jumped in and said Puff.
Puff, that's
the
true.
Cat. And you
That's
know what?
true. That's
I
true.
had a
That's
little
true.
cat named Puff. Little, it wasn't real, but it was a little one I bought.
But that was the good
But
thing.
if my husband had to walk in on me and say, I'm going to have to admit her somewhere.
But to
She's talking
read-
about Puff and Jane and all these, you
But
know.
to read those stories
Yes,
at school
yes.
was good because to this
was.
day I remember them,
Yes.
and it taught me a lot. It taught about good communication
Yes.
skills. You know, friends. They had
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
Tommy.
Yes. Now, who was Tommy?
Tommy was one of the friends.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right.
Tommy was one of the friends.
Right.
And you had, like I said, you had Sally was the baby.
Oh.
Let me see. The dog Spot. He
Yeah,
was
Spot.
black. He was
Black,
a collie.
yeah.
Not a collie. I can't think of what's his name of that dog. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it was the dog,
Right,
the cat,
right.
the teddy bear Tim.
Yes. Oh, hey, listen, wait a minute. Don't you dare take Tim from me.
Yeah, Tim.
I had a little teddy bear that was Tim. I talked
That was
about
Tim.
it on the airways
That
years
was Tim.
ago.
That was Tim.
And Tim was my buddy. Now, this is the truth. Things that, even cars become a personality.
Okay,
And I
okay.
could tell Tim anything in the world, and he never told anybody. And you know what?
He was stuffed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you know what? I don't know.
That's
where-
okay. You're supposed to have imagination.
I know,
You're
but I
supposed to.
lived, and when I bought this show on From the Heart and the Love Train,
Well,
that's my real. I have a real world, an imaginary world, but my imaginary world.
But that's
is almost,
okay.
yeah.
That's okay. Generations
Yes.
change. If you look at it, you don't have that no more. You know,
true.
electronics came into
Right,
play.
right.
It's a giant pacifier where we
Yes.
can go to libraries,
Yes.
read a good book. They don't do that no more
Yeah.
for kids.
Well, listen, they're winding us, so we're going to take a break, and we're going to resume on.
Okay, okay.
In just a few moments. Please stay tuned.
Every curve,
Every detail,
every bite.
perfection.
Desserts by Dana.
And right now we have a lot of residents, community residents, youth, elderly, everyone coming out to put in their hand and pitch up and clean up their community. You know, but you know what? You should never doubt the the conviction of a volunteer. I'm so happy that everyone came out, wanted to put their skin in the game, take responsibility of their community, and see the community be something different, see it be clean, and this is something that we can build on to continue to do better things in life. So I really appreciate the volunteers for coming out.
I came out here today to beautify my community. I live in this neighborhood, so it's impactful for the community, for the young kids to see that we're actually putting in work in our own community and taking accountability for our trash, our neighborhood, and doing things for us.
Today, you know, it's about cleaning up, making sure trash is off the streets, about healthy communities, strong neighborhoods, but really, ultimately, it's about all of us coming together, supporting young professionals of the Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League who organized this today. You have, it looks like, close to 100 people in a neighborhood where a lot of us don't go to every day. Just saying, let's come together and let's work with the neighborhood to make it healthy and stronger.
Good afternoon, Bruce. We're back again from the heart. And say your name again, sir.
Angelo Menefee.
Menefee, I love that. You know, I like, and I'm going to say this, I think people know me now. People have known me for years, and I speak my mind. And just like I remembered you back in when we were talking, I never forgot you. And you know, you made an impression on me. That's why I called last night, and I said to myself, I don't need anybody else. I mean, this can do its own thing.
Thank you
but
for
you
being
know
here.
what? You know what bothers me? You know, sometimes you have people in your life, and my husband is my sponsor, and I thank God for Francis E. Roy Jr. Everybody knows he does a trot, and he still works at the post office. He was in the military for 28 years. He took a small, you know, break 5 years and went back into the post office. He's been there for 27, 28 years. And he's the one that does not have a problem with paying the funds for the airways. I'm so honored that he thinks enough of me to do that.
You got a
But
good
you
man.
know, what
Very
bothers
good
me
man.
is when he steps out. If I believe in something, if he knows I believe in it, he'll say, love, what do you need? And there's been so many occasions and things that my husband has allowed me to do, you know, to be able to help and support people.
Well, that's good.
Follow where I'm going. Follow where I'm going. And it bothers me when I call you. It could be political. It could be anything. But when I call you to check to see how you're doing, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you and whatever you've done, whatever we've been to each other, I'm thinking of you. Like I was thinking of you when I called last night. And it bothers me to be ignored. Some people will say, well, I've been busy. You know, no. You don't take a minute to pick up the phone. I don't want to hear that. That's played out. Or I've been doing this and I've been doing that. But you know, when we got together and we were helping one another, we weren't too busy. You follow what I'm saying? So, you know, and I feel kind of bad. I said, you know what, I'm going to bring this up, not just for me, but for other people. Always remember the bridges that carried you across. There always had to be a bridge, somebody that stepped in for you and helped to make it possible. And I feel to the point now, not angry, but I feel to the point now, you don't have to call me now. It doesn't matter. I love you for what we did. I'm still honored. Whatever you became, and I give no names because my program is not negative. We don't bring names out. But the thing of it is, it really now doesn't bother me because I said, you know, after you don't call and months and months and months go by, and if I had did something to you, then you can call me and tell me, well, Marvin, you said something or did something, but I'm very careful of people's feelings. I can hang with that. So if I've done something, like the Bible says, come let us reason together. And the Bible lets us know if we have aught against each other, where do we go? To that person. If you do something to me, I'm not supposed to go over to Jane's house and say what you did to me. You coming to me. You coming to me and let me know what I did so we can figure this out. You got where I'm rolling? So what I'm saying to you now, I love the people, and you know, we were honored to do what we could, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to call now. Don't worry about it. I won't call you, but I'll keep my prayers out there and my spirit of love out there. But I had to get that out. Always remember the bridges that carries you across. Now, tell me about your bridges.
I like that.
Now, listen, each one of these papers has a bridge. And you cross the bridges with people. Talk about the bridges, and then we're going to go back to the next book.
Each one of my, I look at it for bridges. For bridges, I look at bridges, whereas I'm always making new bridges. So everything I do is going to always be different. It's almost like a touch, like what's the name of that gentleman that when you touch everything turns to gold? King Midas, right? So you figure every time I meet people like you, I'll try to have a domino effect on and what I try to put out there on the table. So when my book first came out, I reached out to Bill Clinton.
Yes.
And this right here with this gold seal on it makes me feel good because my grandkids, my great-grand, everybody can see I have this. You know, this proof, this fact. You know, Laura Bush, the same thing with Miss Laura Bush, the president's wife. She's in charge of libraries. So when you have libraries and they put your book in the library in Washington, D.C., you can't beat that.
Hard,
you know, so this is going to be history in the Menefee family forever.
Yes,
you know?
Beautiful.
So these is bridges. Each one of these President Wise or Bill Clinton, they bridges I built with them and what my writings is all about. You know, especially when I have the book done in Braille for the vision impaired children. And that's good.
You got a bunch of other bridges.
This is too much. Like I said,
no, come on with the bridge now.
I got roses. I got roses now.
Yes,
see?
yes.
And this right here.
You want to read that,
it's
sir?
from.
You can read it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. This from the Washington D.C. and the White House too. And this came out good. Here you go. You can read this the first paragraph for me.
Oh boy.
See,
oh boy.
Me too.
It says, "Dear Mr. Menefee, Mrs. Bush shared with me the information about your book with the help of love. I can do anything and ask that I contact you directly about your kind offer. She appreciates hearing from people like you who obviously care a great deal. Thank you, God, for giving me my vision. Obviously care a great deal about this important issue and have taken the time to write on her behalf. I would like to thank you for your interest in America's children. We appreciate your offer to lend your energies and resources to Mrs. Bush's education initiative and will keep the offer on file for future reference. Ultimately, it is individuals at the local level who help ensure that in America, no child is left behind. We encourage you to focus your energies in your own community where the impact of your efforts will be greatest." That's right.
Thank you.
Now, each of us has a duty to help our children achieve. Mrs. Bush believes that through our combined efforts, we can help share America's future. She sends her gratitude and best wishes sincerely. Read that name.
It says, and held.
Okay, let me read it.
Yeah.
Angelo, viewers, please forgive me if I don't get it right.
Me too.
Helgestein.
Helgestein,
I think it's
okay.
Director of Projects for Mrs. Bush. That's hard, that's powerful.
Yes.
And that's another bridge.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
and that's an honor. Let's have another bridge.
Oh,
How you
boy.
like that one? Come on with the bridges.
Oh, God.
Don't be shy now.
Well, we already discussed already that book is being used as a curriculum in the Red Clay District and Christiana School District also. And that was in the year 2006, I think it is.
And this is by Senate State of Delaware, a legislative hall, Dover, Delaware, and that's from Mr. Thomas W. Sloan.
Yes.
And he's director and state librarian. And then it goes to say Angelo K. Menefee.
Angelo K. Menefee.
Angelo. A promising young Delaware's author has written a children's book entitled With the Help of Love, I Can Do Anything. I like that because that's on my checks. On my checks, when I give you a check, it says, with God, you know, you can do anything.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, and then this book encourages the parent-child bond while teaching the child valuable lessons in life. It also stresses positive parenting skills, such instill self-esteem in young children and affirms that they can do anything they want to be. And like, God, thank you for my eyesight, because my eyes are something
and
like
I'm thanking you for being my glasses for me.
Oh, good.
Today.
Now, this book is currently being used in the Christiana and Red Clay School districts. I would like to know if there's a way to make this wonderful book available in all of our libraries throughout the state. I would appreciate any assistance or directions that you could provide. Thank you for your consideration of this matter. Sincerely, Donna Reed, State Senator, 11th District. What a bridge. All right, hit the other bridge. I'm getting excited.
Oh, this is nice.
Come on.
So, but the thing is, but let's go to the book now.
Go to the book.
And the thing is about this book, about Billy's first summer's vacation. This book right here, I put this out, Staying in the Children's, behind the back, during the summer, when I was coming up, a lot of kids don't have no vacation. You know, when they have vacation, they don't do anything
Right.
during the time that they out.
Right.
And so I said, well, let me do something about Billy's first summer vacation.
Right.
And what I used to do when I was a kid, I would go out there and I would ask people, can I cut their grass to
Yes.
make extra money? You know, wash their car
Yes, yes.
to make extra money. You know, and I'd be doing things. So this book right here helped kids situate themselves instead of being mischievous
Yes.
in the streets,
Right.
especially in inner city.
Yes.
You know, so that's why I've written this book right
And that's
here.
Billy's first summer
Billy's first summer
vacation.
vacation,
Oh.
yes. And then, like I said, notice that the book is a multicultural book.
Oh, yeah, I
And
like that.
I don't believe in bullying. I always put that on the back of my book too. You know.
Now, are these the same?
Well, I'm gonna try to keep. They wanted me to keep it
Okay.
in a series.
Yes,
so,
I got you, I
So
got
by
you.
me keeping it in the series, like.
Right.
It's good. Now this right here is in Braille. I don't know if they can get a shot of this because it's the same thing with the
Yeah,
help of love. I
the
can
help
do
of- I can do
anything.
anything.
But when I go to schools, elementary schools, I let them feel the bumps
Yes, okay.
of the Braille.
Oh, yes, oh, okay. Wow. that's
You
beautiful.
know,
Yes.
so that's a good thing for
Right.
that one. Okay, and like I said, working in the hospital, it pushes me to do a lot of things in the hospital when I see kids because a lot of parents, and you know, I knew friends of mine that didn't have their father around,
Right.
but the mom did the best she can.
Yes,
And
yes,
no matter what she armed us with in the household, you know, we still get out there and go to school.
That's
we got to
true.
go to the boys' room and the bathroom and things
Yes,
like this. When
yes.
you have issues,
Right,
I
yes.
don't want to go there because you got gang members and stuff. So
Yes,
I try to stay above that.
yes. Well, listen, I think they're calling for us to take a break.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a short break and get ourselves prepared to go into the next bridge. Please
Okay.
stay tuned.
So my name's Kevin Smith, the CEO with Habitat for Humanity. Today is the culmination of something we call Rock the Block. So we've been here the whole week on the east side. We've been beautifying lots, been mulching tree pits, we're making small repairs for homeowners. We're here mulching Stubbs School right now. We've got a lot of work. We've got community people out here leading the charge, just helping the east side make it all it can be, help East Side Rising.
Oh man, it's a way of just giving back, showing pride in the community, you know, letting everybody know that we take pride in where we live at, where we work at, and everything. So just trying to show the community how much we care and all, and just trying to make sure that we develop the whole East Side. East Side pride, brother, East Side pride.
Really, it's something that, you know, the city needs right now. You hear about auto violence and everything. You think people don't care, but people do care.
On the next Bebo Weekly, we'll introduce you to some amazing ladies that are making their mark in the media industry. On the Purple Couch, meet popular Chicago DJ and radio personality First Lady, who shares her experiences as a DJ and as a woman in radio. Alicia Saman and Jessica Needham of 4-Star Casting shares what it's like to have a career as an extra on TV and movie productions. Our very own Tatiana Toomer visits with Roxy Diaz of BET's 106 in Park, E! Television, and People TV as she shares what keeps her motivated to continue to thrive in Hollywood. Faith Drew shares 10 expensive beauty products that are actually worth buying, and we bring you coverage from the 25th annual Black Women's Expo. You don't want to miss the next Bebo Weekly.
This is Marvin Richardson again, along with my friend. And let's before
Get the
we
last
go,
name
yeah,
again.
before we go, but we forgot your wife sitting over here now.
Yeah.
Tell us about your wife. I noticed you're blushing.
30 years.
That's something to
or more.
blush for. Yeah. And
I'm happy.
what's her name?
Karen.
Oh, I can tell you're happy. He was happy in the grocery store, and this is the reason. And you talked about her so.
Yeah, she's been in my corner through this right here, and through my trial and tribulation of getting my books together,
Yes.
the parades
Yes.
that I've gotten into, and TV.
Yes.
You know, and I like what I'm doing when I go to high schools or elementary schools and speak about jobs, to try to help motivate them.
Right.
The dress code in this generation that they have right now is essential. Some don't have nobody to teach them dress codes like this. So I like doing that.
And you know, sir, like we were talking about, you know, before I got back on, you know, I'm getting ready to set up a fund for these young guys and women that have been incarcerated.
Okay,
And that are
okay.
still, some are still
That's
incarcerated.
good,
And they
that's good.
need, I went through something with my grandson that was incarcerated, and you would be surprised. Some of the young men and women don't even have money on the books that they
On their
can get
books,
things
yeah,
that they
yeah,
need.
yeah.
We can't do a lot, but we can knock kind of like a little dent to make sure that monies are put on the books for some of those people. That is a desire of mine.
Well, you know, that hits a nerve too, because I mean a good nerve.
Yeah.
Most of the young guys that's going to jail, they have to be groomed
Yes.
before they get locked up.
Yes,
But the
yes.
streets, no matter what we teach them,
Right.
as far as the chain in the family,
Right.
when you go outside those streets, it's a whole new different
Yes,
ball game.
yes.
You got to survive. The average young man got to survive in the streets. Like, for instance, you know, they know, and I even knew, if I'm going to get in somebody's car,
Yes.
I don't know if he's carrying no heat. I don't know if he's carrying drugs, something like
Yes,
that.
yes,
But I know him. So anytime you get in the car with somebody, you know what they're about. You know the
Yes, yes,
caliber.
yes,
You know what I mean? So when the police nowadays, when they stop someone now, you know, you got to see yourself, wow, you know, I'm
Yes.
riding dirty. I'm
Yes.
riding with somebody that's
Yes.
dirty. And if I get caught, I'm going to jail. My
Yes.
mom and dad going to kill me. So when they get locked up, I always tell them, no matter what you get locked up for,
Right.
what we talked about before, if you ain't murder nobody, ain't nothing out here that will stop you from getting a job.
Yes, that's
You can get a job.
That's true.
You know, you may not can go to college, or in some cases you can go to college.
Yeah.
Take up a trade.
Yes, that's true.
You ain't got to be a genius,
Yeah.
but take up a trade.
Right.
A carpenter,
Right.
air conditioning, electrician, plumber. There's money to be made
That's
out
true.
here.
That's true. So listen, that subject is going to tie into somebody I really admire when you're talking about incarceration, because I had to fight for. I was a supervisor at Tower Hill School, and I had to fight for this agency to bring him in because he'd been incarcerated for 10 years. They didn't want to hire. Oh boy, did I raised a you know what, and they finally hired him. So you got to give these young people, they paid their dues. You got to love them enough to give them another chance. You
That's
know
what I
mean?
say. That's what I
You know,
agree with.
Because
you know?
let me say this to you. We could be the ones. Back in the day,
That's
I
true.
wasn't all that, and I still am not. But I'm saying we
true.
did things that
Yes,
by
we
the
did.
grace of God, we're not in jail. Oh, I forgot to say this. I did do jail time. I hope Mr. Ivan Thomas don't put me out. I was in a girl, we'll talk about that later on.
that's a whole
But I
nother-
was in a girls'
yeah,
school
yeah.
for 9 months, and I knew the effect of being shut in and not being able to do what you want and
Okay,
not being able
okay.
to, you know. So, you know.
Well, I
but,
did. Well,
yeah.
the thing is, when you, regardless what your past
Yes,
is,
yes.
you know, I always say to myself, I'm never going to add,
Yeah.
subtract, or divide my life. I'm going to multiply
Yes,
it. And that's the way I've been all my life.
Yes.
You know, I'm 64 years old.
Yes.
And I said to myself, you know, I'm not going to let my friends dictate to me
Right,
or
yeah,
nobody
that's
else
true,
dictate to me
right.
what I should do.
Yes.
So the path I choose, I chose to do this.
Yeah, and you know, and like I'm saying, by the grace of God, because like I was only in the girls' school for running away from home. You know, there was issues at my home, and a lot of things went down, and I was uncomfortable, and I kept running away from home. And so I did 9 months, but it was a horrible, horrible feeling. But I'm
believe
still
it.
saying,
I
as an
believe it.
adult, that was when I was a teenager. As an adult, we still could have been caught up in the system or
You
whatever.
can. I have friends of mine
Yes.
to this day that I would see working at Temple Hospital. That's as old as I am.
Yes.
Still
Now, what do you call
doing the
old?
same. Well, I'm saying, I say
I'm older than
seasoned.
you.
I put it this way,
All right.
seasoned
Yes,
as I
okay.
am,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But they chose to live this way,
Yes.
you know, instead of going this way, you know.
Yes,
And I
that's
look
right.
at it and say, but the thing is, when they greet me, they don't even know me when I was a teenager.
Yes, yes.
You know, I started boxing when I was 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was a boxer, so it wasn't for the police
Right.
power.
Yes.
I could have been either going to the penitentiary or the
Yes.
boneyard.
Did you actually box? Was it an occupation? Did you really get into it?
Well, as a teenager, from
Okay,
11
yeah,
to 17
right.
years old, Joe Frazier,
ahead, yeah, Joe.
treasurer,
Yes.
Joe Frazier, trainer
Yes.
or manager
Yes.
was Jank Durham.
Okay.
So he took me under his wing and wanted me to
Okay.
go to school and
Yes.
drop out of school, and they would send me to school there.
So did you ever, I know you had to know a boxing promoter that passed several years ago, Butch Lewis.
I heard of it. I
Well,
didn't know him per se.
I had
per se.
the honors. I had the honors of knowing Mr. Butch Lewis and working in his home. And he was one. I know a lot of people. You know, he was a promoter, and a lot of people saw him. You know, but I saw him in a way that when I was in his home, he was one of the nicest people. you
But
know.
Willie what's his name? Benny Briscoe.
Yes.
Took me off his wing when I was a young
Oh,
buck.
okay.
Willie the Worm Monroe.
Okay.
Took me underneath his wing
Yes.
when I was a young buck.
Oh, okay.
So they kept me on the straight and narrow.
Grounded, yes,
You know, things could have been different
Yes.
if I hung with the wrong people.
Right,
So I didn't have to. I can go any neighborhood I wanted to in Philadelphia,
Right.
depending. You know, but nobody wanted to tussle with somebody that won the Golden Glove like 5 times.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
nobody
my.
wasn't really bothering
Yes.
me at that time at 17.
Well, listen, I want to get to another bridge.
Okay.
Okay. And this bridge is from Wilmington Branch, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Resolution Angelo K. Menefee. I'm getting
Yes.
better.
Yes,
and it
you
says,
are.
whereas the Wilmington NAACP congratulates Mr. Angelo K. Menefee for being the author of With the Help of Love, I Can Do Anything, and whereas Mr. Menefee, a local resident and HVAC,
Yes.
okay, employee of Temple University Hospital, had as his primary goal to counsel young people during their life-threatening experiences.
Yes.
And then it says, and. Whereas echoing the thought that no one stands taller than when they bend over to help a child end. Okay, and whereas the Wilmington NAACP applauds Mr. Menefee on his efforts to bring a safe environment and hope to a younger generation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wilmington NAACP congratulates Mr. Menefee on being an author and wishes him the utmost success in his future endeavors. And this is gladly submitted February 27, 1999, Charles E. Brittingham.
Yes.
And Charles E. Brittingham, president. That's excellent. That's another beautiful bridge. You know, and let me say again, I do thank God because, Lord have mercy, generally to read like this, I got to go like this, and I have glasses at home. But you know, God is good.
Yes, he is, because you're my mouthpiece. You're my mouthpiece.
And viewers, I can't look like some people, they like to look and look up and look, it's supposed to be a perfect look. I better stay in with what I'm doing because I don't want to lose, you know. But that's another, let me have another bridge.
I like that
Come on,
bridge.
let's move the
All right,
bridges.
let's try.
No, we got those bridges.
Oh, this
and
one?
then we got a big bridge over here.
Let me see.
Now,
Well,
we can keep them going.
we can keep it going.
This is Republican State Committee of Delaware. Dear Angelo, I would like to discuss upon the possibility of running for state representative as a Republican this November. We met a few years ago. You had your book and you appeared on the GOP TV show. Thanks, John Melisky, is that how you pronounce it?
Melisky.
Melisky,
Yes.
okay. Oh, let's have another bridge.
Okay. Try this one.
In the meantime, we got one more bridge, and we'll come back with a few.
Right.
We got 2 minutes.
Right.
State of Delaware, Legislative Hall, Dover, Delaware. Dear Angela, thank you for writing With the Help of Love, I Can Do Anything. It shows simple steps to help parents learn to nurture and lead children with a can-do spirit. The illustrations show diverse families bound together with the common theme of love. The text is easy for beginning readers, but touches on profound themes such as positive parenting, self-confidence, hygiene, manners, respect for parents and teachers, obedience, personal safety, helping with chores, and doing homework. This truly is a wonderful book. Best wishes for much success. Senator Donna Reed. And with this bridge, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back with more bridges.
Every curve,
every detail,
every bite.
Perfection.
Desserts by Dana.
Viewers, we're back again with these bridges this man has accomplished. And before I go any further, I'd like to say hello and much respect and love to Evangelist Willa Ford. She kind of got on me a little bit this week, but she knows my heart, so I wanted to throw that out. Evangelist Willa Ford and her husband, Bishop Boston Ford. Okay, next bridge, Mr. Angelo. Dear Angelo, I congratulate you on a publication of With the Help of Children, I Can Do Anything. It's important that our families work together, and your book does a wonderful job of explaining that. I wish the very best in your efforts to promote strong families. Sincerely, Jack Markell, State Treasurer. What a bridge. Okay. Dear Mr. Menefee, on behalf of the City of Wilmington, I would like to congratulate you on your selection as a recipient of a 202 Wilmington Award. After careful consideration, our office chose to chose you because of your personal achievements, which strengthen our beautiful and historic city. The Wilmington Awards is a program created to recognize and honor outstanding accomplishments of Wilmington citizens. The award recipients exemplify excellence in areas of art, athletics, business, community service, education, faith, government, health, science, heroism, like being a hero.
Yes,
Thank you. Senator and senior and human and/or civil rights. I would like to take the opportunity to invite you to a ceremony so I can personally honor you on Wednesday, October 2nd to 12 at 5:30 p.m. The ceremony will be held in the City Council chambers located on the first floor of the Lewis L. Redding City Council. That's a biggie too.
Yes.
Building at 800 North French Street in Wilmington. Please respond by September 16th. 202 to Miss Peggy, and it goes on. Again, congratulations on being selected as a recipient of a Wilmington Award, and I look forward to seeing you on the evening of Wednesday, October 2nd. Sincerely, James M. Baker. That's a biggie. That's a biggie, Mr. Baker.
That's it.
I hope Mr. Baker's watching. We love him. He was a wonderful mayor.
He was good.
Okay,
very good mayor.
is this a bridge? Okay. No. The last bridge for you, and then you're going to come back and see us quite often after
you
this.
You better believe
yes.
it. I might co-host with you.
That's
I can
wonderful.
learn something.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
State of Delaware Senate tribute. At the request of Senator Donna Reed, the entire Senate joins in commending Angelo Menefee for his tireless efforts on behalf of children and their families in Delaware, and in recognizing his talents and as an author and teacher. With best wishes to Mr. Menefee for his continued commitment. The Senate directs this tribute be presented this 25th day of March. It goes, I think that's kind of like French. It says Anno something. Can you pronounce that? I'm going to pronounce it ANNODOMINI. I just wanted to make sure.
It's French, yeah, right.
In case I wasn't, they would understand.
Right.
1997, and that's Thomas B. Sharp, and that's Bernard J. Bradley, and that's Donna Reed. And Bernard Bradley, Thomas Sharp is a president pro tempore, is that what you say? And then Bernard J. Brady, Secretary of the Senate, and Senator Donna Reed, sponsor. That's a big bridge. And I think we got everything. Now let me tell you, I got a bridge, everybody.
Okay.
My bridge is, I have the greatest respect for this man now running for, and I'm not saying I'm endorsing him yet. I'm not saying that, but he's a great person. I met him in working at Tower Hill School. His granddaughter went there. And then also I worked at the country club in Greenville. Okay. And I used to, do a lot of things for him, at the country club. And so this is what, this is what he wrote to me. In fact, I used to take care, go to his locker room and make sure I took care of him. And Joe Biden. And then he says, Marva, thanks for taking care of me, Joe Biden. And that's been several years ago. And then I got a pin home that he gave to me when he was senator. And I'll bring that. But I want to say to you that Mr. Biden is just a wonderful person. He's a man that's
he's Uncle Joe.
He's genuine.
He's Uncle Joe
he's
to everybody. And he's down to earth.
He's a person of the heart.
He's down to earth.
And I could say no more, the fact that he took time for me.
I'm not political getting in the arena.
Right.
But what I do know about Uncle Joe is that he always did right. As far as he helped with a lot of with the bus, and he did a lot for Afro Americans.
Right.
People may not know what he does in this state right here.
Yes.
Because everybody had other problems.
Yes.
But this is not, to me, this is not a racial bone in the man's body.
Right.
Everybody's city had differences about busing.
Yes.
Like I said before, some parents, like my mom and them, was scared for me to go to get busted because she ain't want me how I would feel. By leaving home, going somewhere else, where I'll be under the magnifying glass. Can I do well or won't I do well? Where you go from a city level, state level to federal level. Maybe the state said, yes, we're going to bust these guys over here to the school right here. and some parents says no, some parents says yes. So I think there's not, like I said, Joe,
he's just
this
very
is
down
nothing.
to
This
earth.
water,
Yeah.
like we started out saying, building a bridge.
Yes.
He'll build
Yes.
another bridge.
Yes, that's right.
He'll
Listen,
build
I think we
another
have,
bridge.
Mr. Ivan Thomas will let us know how much time we have. I'd like to say, look forward, we got 5 minutes, look forward to, I want to be able to say in August, I'm not sure of the date, Mr. Ivan Thomas can let me know. And thank God for Mr. Ivan Thomas. He's doing a wonderful job. I'm so comfortable being down here.
He made me very comfortable
Yes.
because he reminded me of my son-in-law.
Yes, but I want to get this out. Reverend Twin Brand, the doctor, I started with the doctor, Reverend Twin Brand on my travels of being where I'm at.
Okay.
So you see bits and pieces in Reverend Brand, Dottie Neal, Herman Holloway Jr., Claude Kellum, and then on my own. But Reverend Twin B. Brand was the one that started the ball bouncing in my life. So they're going to do a tribute down here. I think it's the 14th of August. The 18th of August, for the doctor, the Reverend Benjamin Twin B. Brand. Don't forget to keep that in mind and come down and be as supportive as you can with funds or whatever.
Well, we'll stay in touch and you let me know because I want to be a part of that.
In the meantime, dears, I'd like to say to you, whatever you do it from your heart. And whatever you do, remember the bridges that carried you across. And thank God for this program and for the people back in the day when we were on TV. I love them dearly.
Thank you for having
me. Have not forgot you, and my heart just loves you.
Thank you
we
for
don't see
having
each other like we used to, but I still love them with all my heart. Last moment, thought you got a minute.
Thank you. No, that's just,
you got a minute
like
to talk to the viewers. This is the last thing you
well,
want to say.
What I want to do, I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. I hope to see you soon
You will, the next program.
Maybe, like I said, I learned something so I can maybe co-host with you.
I would love that.
And we can see what other people have as far as building the bridges in their lifestyle.
Yes. Viewers, whatever you do, have a wonderful day. Be careful to love, be careful to respect, and just be careful to, remember the bridges again that carried you across. We'll see you soon. Thank you.